So, artificial intelligence is on the verge of completely changing how we make medicine. We're talking faster, safer, and way more efficient. But there is a huge catch. Right as this AI revolution is getting started, a whole new wave of really tough regulations is coming in, and it could stop some of the most powerful AI tools right in their tracks. And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of the problem. Think about it. The pharmaceutical industry is dealing with a perfect storm. You've got a total explosion of data coming from every single stage of production, and at the same time, this immense pressure to be absolutely perfect every single time. The amount of information it's becoming impossible for humans to handle by themselves. AI isn't a nice to have anymore, it's becoming a necessity. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into the massive quality challenge that pharma is up against today. Then we'll introduce AI as the new prescription, the potential solution. After that, we'll get into the tricky part, the new rules that are complicating everything. And finally, we'll see how the industry is figuring out how to, validate the validator itself. Okay, let's dive right in. For decades, making sure drugs are safe and high quality has been a slow, super expensive, and incredibly document-heavy process. You see, the traditional quality management system, or QMS, it basically runs on a mountain of paperwork and manual checks. And that makes everything slow, whether you're trying to approve a tiny process change or trace materials through a complicated global supply chain. It's a system that's built to react to problems after they've already happened. And with so many manual steps, the risk of human error is always lurking in the background. But now, a really powerful new solution is stepping into the lab and onto the factory floor. Artificial intelligence. And it promises to completely overhaul these old systems, making them smarter, faster, and, this is the big one, predictive. Before we get any deeper, let's just quickly make sure we're all on the same page with the lingo. AI, or artificial intelligence, that's the big umbrella term. Underneath that, you've got machine learning, or ML, where systems actually learn from data to find patterns and make predictions. And then there's generative AI, or Gen AI, that's the new star of the show, the kind of AI that can create brand new stuff like text or images. So, how does AI actually change the quality game? Well, it flips the whole script in three really important ways. First, it helps us make way better decisions by analyzing gigantic data sets. Second, it streamlines quality control by automating all those tedious jobs. And most importantly, it makes predictive quality assurance possible. We're talking about stopping problems before they even begin. And the results? They're huge. By crunching data in real time to figure out the perfect conditions for what they call a golden batch, AI can stop issues before they ruin a product. And that can lead to a potential 25% reduction in waste. That is a massive win, not just for efficiency, but for sustainability too. Okay, now for the plot twist. You can't just plug in some fancy AI and let it go to work. The European Union just rolled out the world's first major legal framework for AI. And believe me, it's putting a very tight leash on how these technologies can be used in high-stakes fields like pharma. And this isn't something that's happening way off in the future. The EU AI Act is rolling out as we speak. Bans on the absolute highest risk AI kicked in early in 2025. Rules for things like ChatGPT are coming into effect, and by 2026, the really tough rules for high-risk systems, which includes pretty much most pharma applications, will be in full swing. The clock is definitely ticking. So, here's the most crucial part: what the new guidelines demand. For those critical tasks, the ones that directly impact product quality and patient safety, the rules are incredibly strict. Dynamic models that are constantly learning and changing on their own, they're out. Probabilistic models? Also out. Those are models where the same input doesn't always give you the exact same output, which is a total non-starter when a patient's health is on the line. And yes, generative AI and large language models are explicitly excluded. The only thing allowed is static, deterministic AI, where the same input will always produce the exact same output. This whole situation creates a huge challenge, right? How do you use AI to innovate when you're dealing with these super strict new rules? Well, the answer is a totally new way of thinking about validation. You're not just validating the manufacturing process anymore. You have to validate the AI that's watching the process. And this is where something called Validation 4.0 comes into play. Unlike the old, reactive, paper-based way of doing things, Validation 4.0 is proactive and completely data-driven. It's a flexible framework that's built for a world of smart factories and AI. The focus is on continuous monitoring, not just one-off checks. And it all follows this really rigorous life cycle. An AI model is treated just like any other critical piece of equipment. It starts in development, where its job is strictly defined and all the risks are assessed. Then it moves into system validation, where it gets put through its paces in a controlled environment. And finally, once it's deployed, it's constantly monitored to make sure it stays accurate and reliable over time. Now, what's really cool about this slide is it shows how we can actually build trust in these AI models. One of the biggest demands from regulators is explainability. We have to know why an AI is making a certain decision. This chart is a perfect example. It shows that an AI model figured out that pH is, by far, the most important factor for the final product's quality. It's not some mysterious black box. It's a transparent tool. And this right here, this is the proof in the pudding. This chart compares the AI's predictions for product quality against the actual lab results. See how all the data points form a tight, straight line? That means the model's predictions are consistently spot on. This is exactly the kind of hard evidence that regulators need to see. It proves the AI is ready for the real world. But, and this is important, it's also key to remember that AI isn't some magic wand for every single problem. This chart here compares a few different ways to spot problems. Classic stats are simple but not great at predicting things. Multivariate analysis is a step up, but it has trouble with complex relationships. AI and machine learning are easily the most powerful, but they also demand the most intense validation. The key is to use a risk-based approach. You gotta pick the right tool for the job. And for those high-risk AI applications, the new EU rules are basically a super detailed checklist. You have to define exactly what the AI is supposed to do and set clear goals for success. You have to guarantee explainability, that you can actually follow the model's logic. Then there's something called the 4 eyes principle, which is just a fancy way of saying you need a second independent expert to check the test data to avoid any bias. It's all about building these layers of trust and verification, and it's a really high bar to clear. Ultimately, what this is all leading to is a whole new relationship between people and machines. The goal isn't to take humans completely out of the loop. Instead, we're moving toward a model where human experts are kept near the loop. Their job is changing. It's less about doing repetitive tasks and more about overseeing, guiding, and safeguarding these incredibly powerful AI systems. And that leaves us with the big question for the entire future of pharmaceuticals. As AI proves itself to be this indispensable partner in making medicine, the challenge for all of us is to find that perfect balance. How do we harness the incredible power of automation while still holding on to the essential wisdom and responsibility of human oversight? That's the tightrope we're all going to be walking.